I see Miss Nantucket is doing something that's rather horrible. And Hagar the horrible was the curse of God. Sometimes I wonder what goes on behind my back with these users. Anyway, I think I missed this video. Actually, if I didn't, I wanted to point something out. You know this word, this word that I've used occasionally. You know, there's an English definition for this word. In fact, I looked it up. To repudiate or repudiation as a thing is the rejection of a proposal or idea, or a denial of truth. You know, denial. But in the computer world, the meaning of the word repudiation is the ability of a user to falsely deny having performed an action while other parties cannot prove otherwise. For example, a user who deleted a file and can successfully deny having done so. Now, I wonder why this word shows up in this glossary, in the security glossary. It's too bad you can't find out where it's referred from, you know. I mean, it's pretty obvious why this word is here. Somewhere or other, there's a link to this, or it wouldn't be here. And it's somewhere within the security help area, hint area. So yes, so not denying, not false, not even saying, this doesn't even imply that the validity or the truth of whatever it is being denied is taken as true, whereas in this definition, it's to falsely deny as well as not be able to be proven otherwise. Interesting. Now, aside from the strange behavior I've been noticing on my computer lately, how shall I say, no issues. What are you doing there? You remember that one of the words that I was most curious about was the word session. And once again, if I've done it to myself again, I've made a wrong assumption that the definition of session being used in the helpful hint file is what they mean when they talk about sessions. You know, can I have the help, please? F1. That is, see, there's this glossary, right? I even have it on S, because initially I was interested in the word session. I double checked and everything to make sure that I got the right one, right? And now, then I was curious about just seeing if I could find one of these session keys. See, it's an exchange of message and keying material, blah blah blah, etc., etc. And it just struck me, or I was informed by my secret agent on my way back from my breakfast, of the following fact. This what is being referred to is a log-on session. I have a definition for a log-on session. Log-on session, right? Okay. Now, I took it to mean that a log-on session refers to a session as defined in the same glossary under S for session. But that could be the case. But you shall note that it took quite some doing in order for me to enable my logged on user, my account or whatever, to acquire the ability to create and use session keys. That is, I can go crypto was it? To delete. Sure. Am I really sure I want to do this terrible and undoable thing? Yes. Okay, you asked for it. Oh no, wait, hang on. Oh dear. Break. Oh dear. That's too late. So now, I can't do anything. To do. I'm sure that's full of nothing. To do.text. Done.text. See, I don't have any crypto context. I don't have a signature key pair. I don't have a key exchange pair. So if there's any sessioning going on, it certainly is not being done by any of the processes in my logon session. Can't be. Well, sorry. It could be. It's possible. Perhaps it's using a different provider interface, but I doubt it, since I'm using the default in that case. And the one that's used for session communication is I have that somewhere. as a symmetric key. Yeah, they're called symmetric keys because there's one and only one. They show you how to store them, export them, so on. How to create them, you know. This section assumes that users possess a set of public and private key pairs, or sorry, public-private key pairs. That means you need two, a signature one and the session one. Then you can do all these things, hashes, etc., etc. And export them. Here's an example: exporting a key. If I do that, export a key. Don't do anything with it. Well, I exported a key from into a blob and encrypted a file. But that was only after this user had acquired the ability to do so. So if this user doesn't have the ability to do that, then either this is not a session, and either the logon session is not a session in the security sense of the word session that is given in a glossary, or something else is doing the session controlling. Or again, could be a different provider, but I don't think so. I wrote down a lot of comments in my crypto file. There's the important stuff. Now there's either RC2, what they call it, RC2 symmetric block cipher, which is used for sessions, which comes from the default provider, RSA full provider, the one that I've been using. And another one is RC4, another algorithm, RC4, which uses this, which is specified by using this. CA is cryptography something. Oh, crypto algorithm. RC4. Don't believe I do. What am I using? Okay, now I never successfully did that example. Okay. No, they don't define these number defines that were never used ever. Okay, encrypt file. Oh. So that's using the RC4 algorithm. And it's a block version. Okay, so they can be streaming and they can be block. That is one bit at a time or so many bytes at a time. Exportable. Okay, now that's RC4. But it doesn't matter. I could use another file. But none of this can work unless I've got at least a default signature and key exchange pair, the two key pairs available wherever they're stored, however they're stored. This users don't got one. Now, more to the point, if this really is a session, who does? It's not me. It's certainly not administrators. It's got to be, I think. I don't think it could be from this originating logon. That could be the one that's providing the messaging, overviewing the messaging. And another candidate is this. I noticed that when I did my invite, no, who am I going to invite? I don't trust my users anymore. I'm starting to suspect something going on. Well, let's bring on Miss Nantucket. Love the cookies. Okay, hello Miss Nantucket. No, is that? Oh, that's correct, sorry. But she's just a regular old user like me. I mean, she's a standard user. Now there's this great big number here, see? Now, it's interesting that she has the same privilege set pretty much. Now the originating session, the originating logon session, okay, I suspect this is a handle anyway, is this session, 515, okay. It may own itself and all that. And now there's something called a source name. And that's 7 letters long. It could have said logon, but it's only an 8-byte buffer, and I guess it must be null terminated. But that sounds like secure logon. If that's the case, then it's possible that this number here is, in fact, a let's see now, how big is this? It's 2 D words, right? 8 bytes. 2D word. So 32, that's 64. Now that's 64 bits. That's a 64-bit number. Now a 64-bit number can be used for a session identifier. We use R2, I think. Yeah. RC2 symmetric block encryption uses a 64-bit block cipher, symmetric block cipher. And if that's the case, that could be the public key of a secure session between these two processes. That's possible. Now, I think unfortunately I already added crypto ability to Miss Nantucket. Let's just remove that. Or is it? Okay. Now, but that may just be some personal thing. That's Miss Nantucket, the Miss Nantucket container. Who knows what the container name is for that session? That other possible session. Okay, just print that number out. Is that only source? Okay. Right, okay. Now, if there were only some way for me to find out if I have that somewhere in here. This sounds like it must mean secure logon. And if there's security, and if the issuer not owner, the origin this. So if this originated it, then this is like an authenticator, maybe. You know, usually the origin is anti-authority system, right? 999. You want to see who 999 is? Okay. Now the 0 is in the. Oh no, that 0 could be in the right spot. It doesn't have a lot of groups in its token. It's got a hell of a lot of privileges. 999 is its authenticating ID. Its origin, okay, is nothing, 0. Okay, and this is coming from the server, owned by administrators. Its name is system. Okay, now that's usually the origin of that. This thing originated these things, right? And if this originated that, then there's a chance possibly that this has there is a session going on using this 64-bit encryption, which is not as secure, not very secure, but equally between 999 and this and this and these two, there may be a session. No. Well, now how could I possibly, maybe I can decrypt things but not encrypt things, or all messages simply go through this anti-authority system, and the security is the session just doesn't exist here. The session is on the server. That could be, maybe the session is on the server. And that's why they have indices. That would explain something. That would explain why now the question is, does this amount to a session? I would say no. Certainly in terms of the FACO identifier we were given for it, it's not. Now, if corresponding with each one of these things they call sessions is an actual session with, session IDs and whatnot, then the security is being handled completely outside of terminal services. But not in this case. Here's a session, a mini session, I think, on the client side. That is, if I'm a remote client and I've invited another user to log on and interact on my terminal, perhaps I have to assume the role of NT authority system and create a session as if this were a server serving this client, and the secure exchange of messages, whatever a message is and how they get exchanged, still a mystery, is encrypted through that special number. Okay, I'm going to I cut off quite a bit of what followed, and I'm going to leave that here and look a bit further into what might be going on with this session business before wasting your time with my theories and conjectures. Hopefully I'll have something to say by the next time. See you.